Welcome to the Runna Podcast. Today we spoke to Uly Morazan, who's a comedian, actor, and content creator, and who famously didn't like running. But 4 months ago, he set himself the goal of training for his first half marathon, and then just yesterday, completed his very first marathon in New York. And over that time, he talks us through everything he's had to learn, like taking his first gel through to truly what it takes to be part of that 1% who can call themselves a marathon runner. You're going to love listening to today's episode. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Probably feeling a little better than you, given I didn't run a marathon yesterday.
Yeah, the legs are sore, the brain is mush, the feet, the toenails are
Clinging on
for dear life, yeah. But overall, I feel okay. We're sitting.
Yep.
So that's good.
Nice. Well, I want to rewind back to when you got started. Do you remember your first run?
I ran casually in like high school and like college, not like committed to anything. And then I stopped running for a really long time. And so I started re-running 4 months ago when my best friend Jazz asked me to do the Disney half marathon with him. It was like this last August.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 months ago, I went on I want to say a 4-mile run. And it was the worst day of my life.
And for someone who doesn't run, why did you say yes to doing a half marathon?
He put a lot of peer pressure. Also, it sounded fun too. Like I was just like, oh, I've never done a half marathon. I have a couple of friends that like have done half marathons. And I feel like if you're going to do your first half marathon, doing a Disney one seems like more fun than it was competitive. And I like a challenge and I like to like, switch things up. So he'd be like, you want to do this? And I was like, I'm down. But yeah, like I said, all my friends were like runners and he was a D1 track and star athlete. So I was the most behind in my training. But yeah, I started with 4 miles and then I slowly increased it as I went along.
And so that first 4-mile run sucked.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was in LA. It was a hot day. I hadn't run. I didn't have like running shoes. I was like wearing cotton. And also running was hard. Running's hard.
Yeah, I mean, as you probably found out yesterday, it never really gets that much easier.
No, running's hard. So like I was just like, oh my God, this sucks. But then like I just like kept going. Like 4 miles sucked the first day, but then 4 miles now feels like a breeze or the best day of my life. So yeah, I just kept running and it got better as I went.
And what did you do to train and how did you build all the way up to that half marathon?
I like Googled basically. And I was just like, I like have a marathon, like there's like 12-week programs, 14-week programs online. And essentially just saw that like, it was like, I could fit 3 runs during the week. So it was like, I would go on like 2 short runs during the week and try to do a long run and like slowly increased my miles as I went. And I have a bad knee as well. So like, that was like a big concern with me with like, I had a knee injury like 8 years ago. I had to get physical therapy. So part of me was also like, I don't want to injure myself beforehand. Yeah. So I want to like push myself in order to like do the half marathon, but like not so much that like I injure my knee and then I can't do anything. So that was like a big thing for me in my training process was like, okay, I have a bum knee that acts up. Let me like take it slow, but also increase. Yeah. If that makes sense.
But it went well.
The half marathon?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I finished. I think people were like aiming like sub 3, sub 4, sub 5, which I just realized or like figured out what that meant, which is like sub a time, like minus. I'm not there yet. No. Like I did my first half marathon 2 months ago. I did my first marathon yesterday. So like maybe if I do a half marathon again or a marathon again, I'll be like, oh, I hit this time. Let me see if I could do a little better. But finishing a race was the win for me.
Well, I think that's also the thing that's so special about coming into something new is that there's no reference point of good.
No.
What is good is completing the distance, getting around, and then kind of that feeling at the finish.
Yeah. Just to say that I could do it and I could finish it, and that
absolutely. And that feeling at the end of a half marathon is frightening, but at the same time, you get to go and build upon that and take it towards the full marathon. And maybe that's also the motivation that keeps you going.
Yeah, because after I finished the half marathon, I was like, it was like hard at the time, but then I was like, oh, I think I can do this. Like when you do something once, you're kind of like, oh yeah, well, if I could do it once, I could probably do it twice, you know? So like, I definitely got a lot of confidence in doing the half marathon. I actually didn't sign up to do the marathon yesterday until I did the half marathon. And I could be like, okay, if I could do a half marathon, then I can actually like do the New York City Marathon in 2 months. But I needed to complete that half marathon to be kind of like, okay, I think I got it. And I guess I did.
And before we dive into how yesterday felt, I guess no one's training runs always go perfectly. Do you have any memories from runs that really went absolutely awfully, or funny stories from training?
Yeah, right before the half marathon, also having a half marathon in LA in like the end of August, early September it should be illegal. Like it's just like not the right time. And I was training and it was hot. I had to wake up so early because in LA at the time it was like 70 degrees by the time it was like 6:30 a.m. And like, you know, the colder the better, I always say. So there was one particular one. It was there was a heat wave in LA at the time. And I was supposed to do like, I think 8 miles or something. It was like one of my long runs. I could only do 2 miles. I literally like, I woke up, I started running, and then I got kind of dizzy and lightheaded, and I started like swaying a little bit. I was like, something's going, and like, this is not just like exhaustion from like being tired of running or my legs are sore, like something's going on. So I stopped, and I was like profusely sweating, and I stopped, and I was like, I don't think I can do the 8 miles. Like, I think I just need to stop. And it was like my last long run before the half marathon. So I was like really bummed. And I was like, how am I going to be able to do a half marathon if I can't do this 8-mile run? But I had a lot of support online, and a lot of people DM'd me, and they were like, everyone has a bad run. They say it's like a bad run, an okay run, and a really great run. Like that's like kind of like the trajectory of it. But I was really bummed out, and I was like, I don't think I can do this half marathon because I can't even run 2 miles. Turns out I was dehydrated.
Yeah. Well, I think it is the right thing when you feel like that, just not to push through every time.
Yeah.
And, I think that's the thing. Over a few months, not every day is going to be perfect. And also picking yourself up and not letting one bad day mean that you don't keep pushing through.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure that out too, though, because like there's sometimes where you like need to push through because you're just like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, my legs hurt, but like I should push through to the end. Yeah. And sometimes where you're just like, no, I'm about to like, I'm seeing like little sparkly lights all over, like I should stop, you know? But finding that balance of like when you can push and when you should probably just go home and drink some water.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's like, that is the challenge really, which is that any running distance, but running a half marathon or running a marathon is going to be very hard. Yeah. And as soon as we encounter very hard, we shouldn't stop. Yeah. But there are times when we need to be listening to the body and being able to be sensible so we don't go and hurt ourselves.
Yeah. During my marathon training, actually, there were days where I had to stop and walk because I was like, I feel like I just like got so tired or like too hot or whatever. And I stopped and walked. Like, I think I did like a 14 mile or a 12 mile. And then I went home and my husband was like, how did it go? And I was like, not the best. Because I didn't like run the whole thing. Like I had to stop and walk at certain points. Yeah. But then I was like, but I feel like I needed to practice stopping and then starting again too. Like not because I was like, what if in the marathon I have to stop and walk and then restart again? Yeah. And I was like, so I guess that was good because like if it happens during a marathon or a half marathon, I like got the like practice in about like, okay, well, I'm going to restart now that I'm feeling a little better and go a little bit more. But yeah, it's a hell of a thing.
And you have to learn so many things along this journey towards your first marathon.
It's insane.
How did you find having your first gel? Did you take on a gel?
Gross.
Yeah. They are strange. It's basically like liquefied sweets and baby food kind of mished together.
I think the first time it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what am I eating? Why am I eating? And also just like figuring out how to like open the packet and like eat the gel and like then your like hands are sticky and it's like, where do you throw it away? Because we shouldn't litter. So I'm holding an empty gel, my hands are sticky, I'm running, I'm sweating. So it's an awkward process, I would say. But then after a while, at least for me, the pain level or the need for the gel is stronger than the taste of the gel.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I don't even care. Like, I know like I need this gel in order to like continue running. So I'm just gonna like suck it down and keep going. But in the beginning I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I heard some people do nerds or like candies.
Yeah.
I haven't dipped into that yet.
Well, so I mean, the point of the gels or the point of taking on food is that we basically need to like keep putting petrol into the tank to keep on going.
Right.
And gels are kind of like the easiest way to digest that petrol.
Right.
But you could have a flapjack, you could have a banana.
Yeah.
But like the more solid the food, the harder it is to digest, the more likely you are to then go get a stitch. And also the more out of breath you're going to get chewing. So typically it's why people opt for gels rather than really chewy sweets. But it really is a question of like, over that training journey, practicing what works for you, what works for your tummy, what works for keeping on your groove as you run.
Yeah. I started with like non-caffeinated gels and then I like dipped my toes into caffeinated gels just to see how that went. And then like, you're right. It's just like the amount of things that you need to do to keep your body going and moving is insane. Like, and then like, someone was like, oh, you should take salt pills or like have salt shoes. And I was like, what is salt? Like, what? Like, I was just like, having like started this 4 months ago, everything was just like, what are you talking about salt pills? Why do I need salt pills? Like,
yeah.
And then like after a long run, like literally salt on like the side of my face. Which, does that happen to everybody?
Yeah. So obviously when we sweat, we kind of secrete salt, which is why we want to like top that up beforehand and during.
Yeah.
But some people are what I would say, more of a salty sweater than others. So you can often see at the end of a run, some people just get wet, but they don't get these white marks. But then the whiter your marks on your clothing is basically you've sweated out more salt.
Yeah.
So typically, if you have kit covered in kind of white marks at the end of your training runs, you're a salty sweater.
Yeah.
So then you're the type of person that's probably more likely to benefit from supplementing your salt.
Yeah,
but
I'm a salty sweater.
It is just a minefield. There's so much. You think of, I'm going to do my first half marathon and do a marathon. There's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Which is also what make it so exciting. Whereas yesterday, I guess tell me, but it went really well. But there's still so much more that like one can keep learning, and it's why people run for years and years and years. But how did yesterday go?
I think it went well. I finished.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Which again
Kudos.
is just, that's the goal. That's my goal at this point, is just getting from the start to the finish. It went well. I think it went well. It was like hard. I think specifically for like the New York City Marathon, like I didn't know that it was going to be like 90% uphill the entire time. Like people like in my training, they were like, it's very hilly and like, you know, like work on the hills. It's very hilly. But when I think of hills, when I hear that sentence, I think up and down. And I found myself going up a lot, but not down a lot. You know, I found myself like going up for like 30 minutes and then like flat for 5 and then up for 30 minutes. And like, it was just like I was just like another hill. I was like, how long? And there's like one part of the race that is like, I swear, like the longest up, like it's just like a steady uphill climb. And I'm like, how are we still going up? This is insane. So I forgot your question. Oh, how did it go? It went well. But it was definitely difficult. And I'm like surprised at the amount of uphill, but also like felt okay. Interestingly enough with it. I feel like what really worked for me yesterday was the biggest tip that I got for the marathon was don't change up anything new.
Yep.
Don't try. But I was like so tempted because I'm meeting a lot of runners and like they all have their things and they all have their tips and they all have their strategies.
The last minute advice that you get the day before and everything.
And then so I'm like, do I take that advice or do I just like, but then I had to be like, no, like, you know, and there's like a lot of like gifting and branded things. I'm like, do I wear this new cute shirt that I got or should I just, so I was like, no, like just stick to what you know, stick to what has worked. And then also starting off slow. was like the biggest advice too. So like I think what really helped me for yesterday was that I was like I'm going slow. During my long run, my last long run before the marathon, I was going like too fast because I think I was excited to like be here, and I thought I was going slow, and then all of a sudden I was like PRing, and I was like, oh, this is not good. But what's nice about the marathon is that there's literally millions of people next to you. Like you're almost automatically slowed down because you're like, trying to weave through people, and it's like, oh, okay, like. So I think that really helped me yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I think, having everyone around you means that if you're overtaking everyone, you're basically speeding up. And so it's kind of like this perfect like pace setting, assuming that you're starting in the right place and everyone around you has a similar ability.
Yeah.
Which after the first few K really starts to kind of like solidify its case. And then relatively, if you're speeding up or if you're slowing down.
Yeah. And I feel like I felt good about this one because for my half marathon, I had chicken fettuccine alfredo the night before because I heard pasta, I heard carb load. Apparently they don't mean cream-based pastas. Like they don't mean to like do a bunch of creamy stuff. So like during my half marathon, I felt very
Stodgy.
I felt very I was like, something's going on with my stomach, So I learned my lesson. So that's the good thing about continue. You learn as you go.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. I didn't do that this time.
No, I've had I think more marathons than not. I've been to the Portaloos midway round.
You've been to the airport?
Been to the Portaloos midway round, so it's good. Or the porta potties.
Yes, the porta potties.
Good to dodge them when you can.
Yeah, I felt like I stopped during the marathon to use the restroom, and I was like, let me just not even in a big deal. I was like, I wrote out then in and kept going, and that was totally fine. But I feel like figuring out your stomach, that's like the battle. I have a friend who was just like half the battle of doing a marathon is making sure you're healthy enough and good enough to even start the marathon, which I was like, okay.
Well, I think that is the battle, which is that for 4 months you've ran really hard and training through the heat of the summer, all of that stuff, which means that the final day at the end is basically this victory lap where you get to put all that excitement together and show off what you're made of, really, and enjoy the atmosphere. There's people cheering, which there isn't on all the training runs. Yeah. Which, it really is that, victory lap at the end of doing many months of hard work.
Yeah. The cheering was, one of the best parts of the run. And, the yelling and the music. I didn't even, I had headphones, but I couldn't even really listen to music because, you're just taking in all the crowds and all the posters and all the music and all the cheering. And I had my husband meet me multiple times during the thing. So I didn't even really need my headphones for this run. It was just kind of and I feel like that made it go by faster too because the culture was just so hyped. And it was really fun. And then on the bridge, no one was there. So you had a moment to be okay, how do you feel? Whatever. But for a lot of the run, you're distracted and you're just oh my God, what's going on?
Well, that's what I always say is that in training, if you can run 20 miles in training, doing 18, 20 miles, you've done that, you can run a marathon. Because on the marathon, you're going to go into it feeling fresh. Do you mean everything's perfect? You've got your partner cheering for you along the course. Yeah. And you've got this enormous atmosphere, everyone around you, which makes the extra distance not feel as bad because you get all those extra advantages, which you almost get swept away with.
No, when I did my 20-mile run, I was okay. I did my 20-mile 2 weeks before the marathon, and I was if I can do 20, what's another 6.2? Well, that's another 6.2. Although they say that's where people hit the wall, the bong.
Did you hit a wall?
I think I would know, so I want to say no.
Well, I think that's a sign that you probably train really well.
I don't know. I guess so, yeah.
Or you're just freak of nature and super strong.
I think I'm just really good at running naturally. I think I'm just one of those good ones. No, I actually think another piece of advice that I got was eat well, eat constantly. I was taking salt pills every 30 minutes. I was eating my gels. I think I tried my best to fuel myself well, or at least take in the information that I got. Training's actually kind of difficult because I had weddings I was going to during training. I had I'm on tour for my comedy show. I'm how do I where do I run in Portland? It's just it's like all consuming sometimes because it's like 3 mile, like I can't go out on Friday night because I'm doing like an 18-mile run on Saturday. So I think I guess I did my best, but
So there's the joke that people turn running into their personality.
Yeah.
Has running become your personality?
I think some people might say yes, but no, I don't. I mean, I definitely talk about it a lot. And I definitely will talk about this marathon a lot. And I will wear my medal for a whole week. And I do feel a lot like I'm better than a lot of people now. So does that mean that it's become part of my personality? I mean, I'm decked out in full finisher gear. And I hear that now I'm like part of the 1%. So I don't know. I'll let the public be the judge of that.
So does that mean that it's one and done? You've done the marathon, you're part of the 1%, or having crossed that finish line, thinking about that feeling, would you ever do it again?
Right now I say no. But I don't know. It's kind of addicting. It's actually kind of a cult, actually. That's what I've learned in the last 4 months is that this is a cult. A cult that no one really talks about. I mean, you guys probably talk about it, but like I didn't know so many people were such avid runners or like did marathon. Like as I'm posting online and getting all this advice and all these like things, I'm like, oh my God, does everyone run? Did I miss on like this running train? Like, why is everyone running and doing half marathons and no one talks about it? But I will say, I think I will continue running because I feel like now I have this skill. Like, why do I like worked so hard for the last 4 months to like build up this like running and like now I know how to, and like now 6 miles on like a run feels like a nice day, like.
So is that, Jin, doing a 6-mile run, do you want to keep doing that because it makes you feel fit and healthy, or because it makes you happier and makes your day better? Or are they just so interlinked?
I think they're so interlinked. Yeah. I think like the fitness is good. And I think the fitness is good. And I think it makes me happy. I also like the like exercising. I'm an extrovert usually in my day to day, but like there's something about running and like just like not talking to anyone for like an hour and like just listening to music and like looking at the hot shirtless men that are like running past me. There's something beautiful about that I really like. And so yeah, I think it's like a little mix of everything. And plus I can do it and it's, like I feel like I've trained so much, might as well just like keep it up. So I don't know if I'll do, I'm not signed up for one yet, but I am tempted. My friend Rebecca, who does a lot of half marathons, she was like, oh, I'm going to do the Carlsbad half marathon. And I was like, half? Easy. I'll be there, and don't count me out of like maybe London. You never know. I hear great things about London.
I'm kind of like watching you talk this through, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, one and done. And then it's kind of like, I would be tempted. Yeah, London.
Yeah. I mean, don't count me out.
The journey that people do, which is that they're like, I'll do a marathon, cross the line, awful, so painful, never doing that again.
Yeah.
And then it's like an unknown amount of time, somewhere from like 15 minutes to like 2 weeks, before people are like, I want to do that again.
Yeah, I think the break will be nice because like I said, it can be a little all consuming, like making sure you're getting the miles in, making sure you're like keeping yourself healthy. So it'll be nice, I'm not going to lie, to have like a couple of weeks where I'm like, do I run a runner today? No, I don't think so. And I don't have to.
and running because you want to, not because you need to for the goal at the end of the road.
But I will say I'm I exercise. I like exercising. I like exercise 4 to 5 times a week. But there is something about exercising with the intention of like doing something that makes it so much more satisfying. Like when I'm lifting weights, like I guess there's goals, you want to lift heavier weights, like and things like that. But like there was something about like having like I'm doing this exercise for this one big moment that made it so much more like motivating and exciting. Also, maybe I say London because I got like I did my marathon in like 5 hours and 3 minutes,
which is amazing.
Is it?
That's amazing. I think the average marathon time is way slower than that.
Really?
And that's your first one. And
I'm
that's your
telling
first
you,
one
like, I'm naturally just good at this stuff.
in New York as well, which is, like you said, hilly.
Yeah.
You actually start and finish at a very similar height. So it's definitely a perception that you're running uphill the whole way. But it's definitely.
So you're saying I'm lying to your audience?
Or you went the wrong way.
or I went off track and I just started going uphill. But it is up and down.
It is up and down, but
you don't feel.
But you don't
feel it. Where's my camera? You don't feel the down. You only feel the up.
But that is a good thing about London. London is pretty much pancake flat.
Oh.
So it could be a good way.
See, I gotta get sub 5.
Yeah, there we are.
You know.
Yeah, you know what people are. You said at the start you kind of don't know what people are doing hunting these times, and now before you know it, you're kind of wanting to shave off a few minutes and break the milestones.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the first few, it's just kind of like, can I do it? Like, can I get through it? Can I not, not injure myself through it? Finish. But now that I have a time, there is
Yeah, and I think times is just really a way for people to say, I want to keep pushing myself, and being the best version of myself, and because the marathon is timed, and you're not gonna do your second marathon and rather running 26 miles, you're not going to run 28. Instead, you're going to try and run the 26 a little bit stronger. Yeah, and so it's a way of kind of quantifying that improvement, which the way to do that is attach arbitrary numbers to that improvement. Yeah. But really all you're saying is that you want to maybe keep doing it and improve.
Wait, so we were talking about this a little earlier. What are your opinions about London versus New York?
So I've done them both.
Yeah.
New York is harder because it is hillier.
Okay.
They're definitely the two of all the marathons I've done, but very much kind of looking at the marathons in the world, I think they are the two most intense marathons in terms of intensity from the crowd, from the support, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But it is also a lot at times.
Yeah.
But definitely very helpful when you're wanting every last thing to help push you to go stronger.
So do you think there's something nice about having some quiet time during a marathon?
Well, I was just about to say, my personal favorite marathon I've ever done, and I've done it twice, is the Paris Marathon.
Oh.
Another big city. You get an amazing support. It's a very similar size in terms of number of runners. It's not one of the majors like New York and London. But it runs through 2 or 3 of the parks in Paris. And when it does, you get very, very little support. A bit like the New York bridges.
Yeah.
So you kind of like you said, you kind of get to check in with yourself, have a deep breath, and then you come back to the streets of Paris, and then you get the support. And it makes it feel refreshing and energizing.
Yeah.
Rather than just it's just there the entire time.
Yeah.
Whereas I would say you do get that break within the New York Marathon with the bridges. But you've still just got people around you. I mean, the first bridge of the marathon yesterday, I remember you're running uphill for the first mile and a half, and I think there was helicopters on both sides, planes flying over, just all kinds of noise and craziness.
Yeah.
And I think New York and London are unique for that, where they are a different level of energy compared to anything else.
I see. But yeah, part of the reason why people like running though is because of that solitude too. So getting a middle mix of both can be nice.
Yeah.
So wait, you didn't answer my question. What's better, London or New York?
I think.
You don't want to say it publicly?
No. I think I'm biased. I've also actually only done London in the rain. But I think for me, I would say that for me, London has to be the one that I would enjoy. But that's because I'm from London.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of people from London who also said London was the best one too.
Yeah, I do think I had an amazing time doing the New York Marathon, and the atmosphere is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I think anyone who can do either is extremely lucky. And
wait, so is it a rainy season?
No, I mean it's in April, so it's when the weather's starting to get better.
Okay.
But I think I was just unlucky. It sometimes is actually very hot. So it can just be that time of year when you can get a bad day and you can get a good day.
Wow. Running a marathon in the rain sounds even harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think
what?
I think having wet, heavy shoes is not nice.
Yeah.
You're more likely to blister and everything else. But doing it in a heat wave, like you found with an 8-mile training run, is also not nice. And that's part of the challenge of it, is that you never know what the condition's going to be like. It's about you, how you feel that day, and then doing the best you can.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, we'll have to watch this space and see whether it's one and done or whether it's London next year or another marathon one day.
And then also if I do London, then I can compare.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we'll see. I don't know. Sub 5. I don't know.
I guess final question on the marathon. What was it like to cross the finish line?
It was amazing. It was so cool. It was so fun. It happened so fast. You know, like I think I crossed the finish line and then I saw people immediately and I was just like so happy that it was over. Like I was so happy that it was done. Like that's part of like the joy. I'm not a huge crier. I met a girl yesterday and she's gonna cry and she's like, she cried and I was like, I'm not a huge crier, but I just felt just like so like happy and overjoyed and like I can't believe I did it and I'm so glad that it's over. I will say though, one of the funniest, not the funniest, but one of the like weirdest parts of the marathon is the end because you go from cheering and running and like being so happy and then everyone gets their little orange ponchos. And it's like you have to walk like another mile and a half before you see your family. And it's just a bunch of zombies in orange ponchos, like waddling. No one's talking to each other. Like it's literally silence. Yeah. And no one's talking to each other. And it's just like people are like so dead. Everyone's limping. You know, like it's such an interesting experience. Going from being so hyped up to then going like, but I think also like no one wants to talk to. No. Everyone's just like.
But I think it's also that everyone has given it literally their all at that
exactly,
point. That they
yes.
have zero left.
Yeah.
To like even tell the random stranger next door to them, well done. And so you're all just kind of like heads down, waddling your way.
Exactly.
And when you have that many people in one place, you can't all just meet your family and friends on the finish line. So they've got to escort you out for a while. And that feels like a very long way to go.
It's a very surreal experience going from like, so much happiness and cheering to just like a group of zombies just trying to get to the finish line or to see their family.
But I do think it's also like so lovely when you're in a city where a marathon's just finished and then any person wearing a medal, wearing their orange poncho, kind of enters a bar, enters a restaurant, walks down the street, and any pedestrian, any person in a restaurant just wants to clap, say well done.
Yeah.
And you are royalty for the rest of that day or the rest of that week.
Yeah, I got a lot of congratulations. I got a lot of good for yous. Funny enough, I met my husband at the family meeting zone and, hi, hello. And because he was like following me along the marathon the entire time and stopped at like 3 stops before the finale, he was like, oh, my feet hurt. He's like, oh, my feet really hurt. And I was like, do they? Do your feet hurt, babe? But actually, the unsung heroes of the marathon are the people that are trying to see their people throughout multiple courses, dealing with all the like public transportation. And the biggest difference between them and us is that we train. They don't train, so they don't have the like stamina to do it. So I thought it was really funny. He was like, "Oh, my feet kind of hurt. Is that okay to say right now?" And I said, "No, that's not okay."
No, it's what I always warn whenever I'm like chatting to someone like the day before the race. I always say like, "Good luck to the supporter," and at the end of the day, the supporter needs a foot rub.
Yeah,
yeah. Also, like you and your partner will have made your race easier. Like seeing them 3 times along the course, like will have given you the biggest boost of everything.
Yeah, it was so nice. He was crying. It was a great boost. Now knowing that, like there was certain things where I was like, oh, I should have given him some of my stuff.
Okay.
So that like, I can like grab it from him or he can grab it from me.
Yeah. But it's a risk because you don't know you're going to see them. Like,
exactly. And I had no idea. I was like, you know what? I don't want to put this on you because if you don't show up when I need you to show up, then I'm going to be pissed. So I don't want to put that on you.
No, well done. What an incredible achievement.
Oh,
we're going to segue over to Steph for our coaching tip of the week.
My top tip today is on posture. Our upper body is often forgotten about when we're running, but it's really important to keep a neutral spine, shoulders relaxed, looking forward, and avoid a pelvic tilt. If our upper body is nicely aligned, then our lower body is more likely to follow.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by the Runna app, the #1 rated running coaching service worldwide. And if you want to try the app today, use code podcast25 for 2 weeks totally for free. And please do remember to rate, follow and subscribe to us on your listening platform to help us climb the rankings and so that we can keep bringing you the most interesting and amazing guests. Thank you for that, Steph. We're going to come back first with our dilemma of the week. So my first question to you would be, what would you say to someone like yourself 4 months ago who doesn't think that they're a runner?
Don't start. I'm kidding. Who doesn't think they're a runner, but they want to be? I would just say take it slow. I think the biggest thing that people do in multiple things with life, not just running, but like they go from 0 to 100 really quickly. I took it very slow. I was like 4 miles, 4.5 miles, 5 miles. Like, I think if you're trying to like get into running, like just figure it out. Like, where's your starting point and just like go slowly increase after that. Because it makes it a lot better than burning yourself out and trying to be the best at the beginning. I would just say take it slow or don't do it.
No, I think that's
or
great
don't
advice.
start even beginning. Because then look at me already talking about second marathons. So
Yeah,
once you start,
you can't stop.
there's no going back. So it's a tough decision to start.
Yeah, but no, agree. Very much building up steadily, and
Yeah.
don't judge your progress off anyone else. Like, it's your own journey.
Yeah.
And cool. We're going to move on to our this or that.
Okay.
So, would you rather run the New York Marathon all over again tomorrow,
The second one. You don't even have to say it. Or actually, hold on. Say it.
or nobody knows that you ran the New York Marathon yesterday? Your partner, every single one of your friends, they think you did not run.
I'd run it again.
You're running
No. The only reason why I'm doing this is for the clout. The only reason why I'm doing this is for the attention, the clout, and being the 1% and bragging and thinking I'm better than everyone. If no one knew, there would be no point in doing this. And for me,
And given how your legs feel right now, do you think you could?
I think it'd be a lot harder. But they say, you should know this, you're a trainer. They say you got to keep it moving. You can't just sit. Like,
I agree that sitting down for the next 2 weeks would probably not be ideal.
exactly.
But running a marathon tomorrow is also not on the prescription.
I would try just to continue having the clout.
Love it. Would you rather run without headphones or have the same song playing on repeat for a full marathon?
I would rather have the same song play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd have the same song play. Well, I think I'm thinking of it differently, I think, because I was like, I can take off my headphones if I want.
Okay.
And like when I need the music, I could probably put that same song on and like listen to it over and over again. And like, well, obviously when that gets crazy. But I think you're thinking like you have to listen to it the whole time.
And what would be your go-to song?
Oh, I think right now it's Where's My Husband by Ray. That got me when I was like feeling a little like down. I was like, Where's my husband? Even though I'm married. But that song is just like, there's like a nice like pumpy energy to it. It would probably be that because that's what the song I probably need the most. Funny enough, I actually listened to like kind of like not like the most music because like I was like, you know, I have to pace
Stay
myself.
calm.
Stay calm, like stay calm, stay centered. But yeah, that would probably be the song.
Nice. I love it. Would you rather do your I Love Uly tour as a run club and everyone has to run with you, or do all of your shows straight after a sweaty 5K?
So I would do it as everyone runs with me.
So with your tour, you have a run club, everyone comes running with you, or you have to do a 5K right before going on stage.
Yikes, both don't sound very great. I would say 5K before going on stage. I wouldn't want to put running on any of my people. I wouldn't want to force that upon them.
You do it, and you can protect everyone else from this.
I can
this
protect
torture.
all my people. Like they just want to sit and laugh, you know? So I will take on the pain and the suffering for them.
I love it. Okay, our final question that we love to ask all our guests
Okay.
is to design your dream race.
Okay.
So with this, you need to tell us where it is in the world,
Okay.
how far is the distance, and then what is the food and the drink that you're looking forward to at the finish line, and then who's putting your medal around your neck at the finish line.
Okay. Repeat that. Distance, where,
Food and drink,
food and drink.
and then who gives out their award.
Okay, so I'm gonna say I would do. I would have it in Nicaragua. I'm 100% Nicaragüense, and so that would be just like a really fun, like place to go back and run and like be with like where I'm from. And there's so many beautiful parts of Nicaragua. There's like 4C, there's beachy parts. So I would do it there. How long? We don't need to go crazy. Let's do a half. Let's do a half.
I think half's that nice sweet spot. It's
Nice sweet spot.
far enough that you feel that you've really achieved something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take it out of you like a marathon.
Exactly. I can still party. I can still go out, have a good time. Like we don't need to impress anybody. The food I would have is, if you're Nicaragüense, you probably know this, but I would have gallo pintos, queso fritos, maduros, and carne asada, which is basically a very traditional plate in Nicaragua. It's basically rice and beans, fried cheese, plantains, and carne asada.
Do you have your appetite when you finish your run?
Yesterday, I was really hungry right after I finished. Like right after.
Yeah.
And so I ate the bar that they gave me. I think I had a banana or something else. But then after I had the bar and the banana, I did not feel hungry for the rest of the night. But then when I ate food, I was like, oh, this is so good. My body wasn't telling me that I was hungry, but every nutrients, every bite I took, I was like, this is the best bite in the world.
Yeah.
So it was an interest, my mind was like, you're not hungry, but my body was like, feed me, please.
Yeah.
I was surprised that I was so hungry at the end too, because I don't normally get hungry after in training, after my long runs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't normally get hungry. I eat, obviously you have to fuel, but I'm not starving. So I after finishing, I was like, wow, I'm actually feeling really hungry right now.
Well, you burn an enormous amount of calories.
I know, I haven't checked yet. I want to check. I ate whatever I wanted.
So you should.
I ate whatever I wanted. Someone told me have a Coke right after. A Coca-Cola is the best thing in the world. Yeah, I did whatever I wanted last night. And then that's the food. And then Pedro Pascal has to be. That would be the dream person. My husband has already done it. So there's no, there's no beef there. He already had his chance to see me with the medal. Pedro hasn't. So I think I would want Pedro Pascal to.
And are you racing it or are you running for fun?
I'm always running for fun.
Nice.
I'm not racing yet. No, I'm running for fun, for the vibes.
Nice.
We'll see if that changes. Even if I get faster, I feel like it when it becomes a thing where I'm too competitive or too down on myself about it a time, I don't want to get there yet. Never say never, who knows, but I think right now as long as it's fun and I'm having fun and I'm completing it, then I think I'm fine.
No, I think that's a great way to look at running, and I think it should always be something that adds to our life and makes us happier, and whatever that means is for us to kind of work out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Runna Podcast, and once again, the most enormous congratulations for yesterday. What an incredible run.
Thank you.
And thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
I had fun.